Hi everyone, in this lesson we're going to be looking at how we perceive colour. So let's look at this picture here. You've got red and blue, and that is because of light reflection. Up here I'm just showing you some websites that you can go to get a different point of view and a good explanation of this stuff. And these are your learning objectives from the topic. Hopefully you will have read them and understood them already. Alright, so how we see colour. Now in this image, what you see is a Perspex block, which is similar to the one that Mrs. D'Agostino showed you in the style video. And light is actually white light that we get from the lamps that you've been using in class. Now, when that light is shone through that Perspex box or block, it is refracted. So that means that light bends twice and it comes out in this dispersal of colours. So you get the full rainbow there from that one original white light source. Just to recap, dispersion is the separation of light into its constituent colours. So white light, remember, is actually a rainbow, and we can use a triangular prism to separate out those colours. Alright, so in this image what we're showing is the visible spectrum, and you can see it goes from red right down to violet, and these waves show the frequency of each individual colour light wave. So you can see that red is the lowest energy one because it has the lowest frequency, and as we move down that colour spectrum we notice that the frequency of the waves increases and the energy gets higher. So you guys, you need to remember that order for the rainbow. So it's Roy G. Biv. So that goes from red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and ending in violet, which is the highest frequency wave. All right, so this is how we perceive light. So the light source is the light that's reflecting off that white surface and into our eyes. Okay, so we're not actually looking at the light source, we're looking at the white surface in this picture. And you can see that all those different colors of the rainbow are reflected into our eyes. So when we look at that surface that's reflecting all parts of the visible light spectrum, we see white. All right, so if we look at this image, we can see that some objects will reflect light. So luminous objects, ones that produce light, will reflect light off certain surfaces, and some of that light energy is absorbed. So you can see in that picture there, we've got a black surface, and those lower wavelength colors are absorbed. So we perceive that object as being dark, and the light colors are reflected into our eyes. So what we're saying here is that only the colors that are not absorbed are the ones that enter our eyes. Sorry, I made a mistake. I said that we perceive that as dark. We don't. We perceive that as light because we're reflecting light colors into our eyes. All right, so are colors absorbed or are they reflected? Well, this picture here is actually really good at showing that. So we've got like a little cartoon drawing of the sun. That is our luminous object, and we know that the sun gives out white light, which are all colors of the rainbow. Now, if we look at that apple, we perceive the apple as being red. Now, the reason for that is because only the red wavelength of light is reflected into our eyes. So when we look at it, we see red. However, every single other color of the rainbow is absorbed by the apple. So we don't see those colors. We only see red. All right, so if we start to look at filters now, as we looked at solid objects, color filters will absorb most colors of light, and they only allow one color to be transmitted or to pass through. So in these three examples here, I'm starting with the red one, and these little rectangles represent filters. If I fire white light at each of these filters, you'll notice on the other side, I only get one color of light coming out. And this is because when I fire white light at that filter, let's look at the red one first, every single color is absorbed by that filter, and the only one that can pass through is red light. So if we look at the second example, so this is the blue one I'm talking about now, every single color is absorbed by that blue filter except for the blue light. So that's why we see blue light on the other side. And it's the same situation with the green light. All colors are absorbed except for green, and that's why we see green. All right, so let's look at this example here. How do color objects appear under a colored filter? So if we've got a red light filter, how will we see white, red, and green objects? Pause the video and have a think, and then play again. All right, so we've got white objects will appear red, so you can see that in the clouds. We can see that the red objects also appear red because that's the only light they're transmitting, and the green objects appear black because they're only transmitting green light and there's no green light there. So as a little explanation, the red light filter will only let red light through, as you can see in that picture on the side. The white object reflects all colors of light. Now there is only red light, so that is all that it's reflected, so even white objects appear red. The green object only reflects green light. So there's no green light in this picture, there's only red light. So we don't see any color of light at all. We just see black. Okay, so why do we see black? Well, black is not actually a color, strictly speaking. Black is the absence of light. So, you know, in a room where there's no light source, we don't see colors. And it's not because those colors don't exist, it's because color has been absorbed by the objects. So in this video, you can watch that at your own time. It's a really good explanation of what's been happening, and I will leave that for you.